4 rules to live by for safe drug usage. Rule number 1, all drugs are poisons. Every drug is a poison. Every drug administered has the potential to save a life or to take a life. The only difference between whether a drug kills or saves life is often the way in which the drug is administered. For example, arsenic is generally recognized as a deadly poison. But small amounts of arsenic compounds are used to safely treat heartworm disease in dogs. Likewise, drugs that might otherwise devastate an animal's or person's bone marrow production of cells critical to life can also be used successfully to kill deadly cancer cells. Even common drugs found in almost every household can be beneficial or deadly depending on their administration. For example, the drug acetaminophen is safe for use in human beings, is moderately tolerated by dogs, but can easily kill a cat. Thus, the selection, the amount, or the method of administration of a medication can potentially determine whether a drug cures or kills. Rule number 2, no drug is a silver bullet. Drugs are not silver bullets that magically seek out and destroy a disease or miraculously correct a clinical condition. Drugs work by altering the normal physiology. Every drug has physiologic effects on the body other than the intended beneficial effect for which the drug was used. Effective use of drugs involves knowing how to maximize the beneficial changes while minimizing the bad physiologic effects. The drug alteration of normal physiology is often complicated by the physiological alterations caused by the disease process, the animal's gender, species, breed, or age. In other words, appropriate administration of drugs requires the veterinarian and the veterinary technician to understand the individual patient's particular physiology and its complex interactions among the drug effect, the disease effect, and the individual genetic or environmental variables. Thus, no drug is a silver bullet that will always behave in the same way for the same disease in all animals. Rule number 3, all doses are guesses. The dosage in the manufacturer's drug information is an estimation of the actual amount of drug a specific patient will need for a particular disease. Because of the physiologic variables stated in rule number 2, the dose calculated for any particular patient is actually a scientific guess based on how the population of animals is supposed to behave when given the drug. Granted, the guess is probably very good, because the dosage was determined from clinical trials done in large numbers of animals to represent the entire population of similar animals. Although the actual dosage constitutes the amount of drug needed for the majority of animals of that breed with that particular disease. If the individual patient has genetic characteristics, physiologic changes caused by disease, or environmental factors that were not found in the majority of animals, the resulting dose could be too much or too little for this particular patient. Thus, the veterinary professional must always consider these factors and modify the dose as needed to match the specific physiologic needs of the patient. Myths and misconceptions. All drug dosages used in veterinary medicine are based on controlled scientific trials and medical evidence specifically for veterinary patients. False. Although dosages approved by the FDA or other drug regulatory agencies in countries outside of the United States are based on clinical trials and protocols required for drug approval, many of the dosages reported in case studies or textbooks are based on the clinician's personal experience or generally accepted standards of treatment based in part on anecdotal evidence. With the increasing emphasis on evidence-based medicine, many older drug dosages are being re-examined to determine whether there is scientific validity for the recommended dosage. In some cases, this re-examination has led to changes in recommended dosages. The veterinary technician needs to keep up to date on current drug dosages to ensure that the patient receiving the drug is receiving the appropriate amount of medication for the condition.